Have you ever sat back and questioned why life could be so unfair for some? I've noticed that the older I get, the more death and illness has become more apparent. As a former certified nursing assistant for a traveling hospice company, I have witnessed many different causes of death. Some have been welcomed, and many have been fought without a winning battle. But it takes one battle won to help you forget the many that were lost. This evening, I will be discussing a heartfelt story of a very close friend of mine who battled a disease and won. Her name is Jennifer, and her disease was cancer, an all too well word known by many. One day, at the age of 9, she had an accident while walking down the stairs, which made her fall and hurt her ankle. After about 4 weeks had gone by, she noticed that her sprained ankle still wasn't healing, and was feeling even more excruciating as the days went by. An emergency trip to the hospital resulted in an x-ray which found a large black circle in her ankle. Stunned, the doctors then instructed her to go to a bone specialist. It was there that they found out that the mass was an osteosarcoma, a tumor that was so severe it had eaten away at her bone. Unfortunately, it was inevitable that the amputation of her ankle had to happen. The knowledge of this news crushed her family and friends, but we all knew her battle had just begun. Doctors started her on a very intense regimen of chemotherapy for 9 months, allowing a 4-week break, then following another 9 months of chemotherapy. She beat cancer, faced chemotherapy, and learned how to walk again with the help of a prosthetic leg, all by the time she was 10. Jennifer has always been such an inspiration to me. She is such resilience, and she never accepts the words "I can't." She was once told that her and her husband would never be able to have children because of all the chemotherapy. But today, she is a mother of 3 handsome boys, Caden, who is 10, and a wonderful big brother of twins, Trent and Logan, who are now 7. Her strength has once again been battled. Trent, her youngest twin, started to experience abnormal symptoms by the age of 6. Pain in his head, nausea, and vomiting. Doctors were baffled, and they performed a battery of tests. After an MRI was taken of his head on October 20th, 2010, it showed that Trent had a plum-sized tumor near his cerebellum and brainstem. I cannot express the feeling of anticipation that many of us had while surgeons removed the tumor during an 8-hour-long surgery. Trent, too, had cancer. We later found out that he had melanoblastoma, a malignant, highly aggressive form of cancer. But for his case, it did not spread to his spinal fluid. Doctors felt that Trent would behave very similar to a newborn, with limited hand and eye coordination, and might be unable to walk or talk as well. The idea of a full of life 6-year-old little boy would return to infancy overnight was so cruel and unfair. But Trent fought back and battled brain cancer and surgery and won. He can walk and talk and do just about anything he could before the surgery. Right now, he is still fighting, and he does have a remainder of chemotherapy left, which is supposed to be ending probably the beginning of next year or the ending of this year. I don't believe we will ever know why cancer attacks the innocent. I know that many deal with pain and grief differently. There is never a right way to handle such sorrow. Maybe their story will allow you to stop and look at your life and realize who is important to you. Their pain has not only made their family stronger, but it has also made them realize how special each other truly are. Maybe Jennifer has experienced what she went through because one day somebody knew that little Trent would need her. Today, he is doing fine, and Jennifer is in remission, and both of them are my inspiration.